Hey everybody, welcome back to Reality Watercooler. I am Sarah in Texas, and this is our safe, fun place to chat all the latest reality TV gossip and, of course, Jeff Lewis Live and the Jeff Lewis After Show. If you are new, welcome, welcome, welcome. Get comfortable in comments. We love hearing what you have to say. Please make sure you're subscribing, liking, commenting, all the things, following. I would really appreciate it. If you join late, everything goes up on the replay instantly, except for TikTok. Sorry, TikTok, they don't allow the replays to go up. And then about 10 minutes later, everything goes up everywhere you get your podcast. So check that out. Everything is under Jeff Lewis Obsessed. Hope you're having an amazing day. I am headed after this to go tomorrow. We've got a full day of we've toured this college. So remember, I've got 5 kids. So my third one is a senior in high school. So she's picking out where she wants to go to school. And so we've already toured this school, but now I think she's narrowing it down. All the acceptance letters are coming in. So I'm super proud of her. But tomorrow is like this whole day, where they host the whole day and give you lots of information about it. So we're going to head up tonight, get in a hotel. My other daughter that goes to college up in North Texas is going to drive down and have dinner with us. So we can't wait. I'm going to see 2 of my 4 daughters. And if you haven't seen on social media today, apparently today is National Send Your Daughter Money Day. So that's already happened to one of our daughters because she reminded me that I owed her $92 for something, overpriced stuff at Kroger. But anywho, so if you have a daughter, make sure you Venmo, Cash App, transfer them some money, right? And let me know in comments if you have a daughter that just drains you financially, right? Oh my God. Okay, so let's get into shout out news. We're going to talk a little bit about Britney Spears and a little bit about Heather McDonald. Okay, so if you saw my video this morning, Heather McDonald did put out another Patreon. I was told that yesterday that she had announced that it was going to be a super juicy Patreon. And so I got all the scoop. I can't give it all away because I do get in trouble if I share all the Patreon information of some people. But Heather's already blocked me, so she can't even see if, she used to follow me. She's blocked me since, so she can't even see if I'm posting about it, but I'm sure one of the juicy scoopers will send it to her. Anyway, so it's not a ton of her content today, but she's very angry. She's calling Jeff Lewis and Justin Martindale liars. She doesn't go into the details about why Justin Martindale is a liar, but she does about Jeff. Basically, she's saying that when he says that some of her big people had reached out to him to kind of leave her and come to him and be on Jeff Lewis Live, she is now saying that she's got DM proof that he actually reached out to 2 of her big people. So I don't know who those are. Y'all tell me in comments you think it is. A lot of you are guessing Chris Frangiola because he's a huge one. And also, what is Sarah's last name? The Sarah girl that comes on there a lot too. So who knows? But she's also very upset at this TikTok influencer that she says is a sugar baby. So who do you know that's a TikTok sugar baby? So apparently she invited this person on and they said no, they would not come on because they didn't like how she handled the Chris Frangiola stuff. But you have to know, Heather, that you're going to get repercussions for the things that came out for how you handled some of the stuff with Justin Martindale, right? Like literally a lot of her huge, devoted, juicy scoopers were saying they didn't agree with how she handled things, deleting comments, not supporting him, liking some mean things that were said about him on her Patreon and publicly. It was a lot. So, it kind of makes sense. I don't know that that's Jeff Lewis's fault that this influencer doesn't want to come on his show. And I don't even think she was blaming him. But anyways, take a listen, heathermcdonald.net. It's her Patreon juicy scoop. Okay. Should we be happy for Britney Spears? I am. So if you saw, she posted a video. She's in a private jet. I mean, who doesn't love that for her, right? Oh, my comments aren't coming up on YouTube. Sorry about that, y'all. Yes, Sarah Cologna. Is that how you pronounce it? Colonna. Yes. Anyways, but she shows these friends. I just hope they're friends. Really, I hope at this stage and this time in her life when, she hasn't seen her boys in like a year or 2, according to her ex-husband, Kevin Federline. They've moved to Hawaii. She lives in California, but they're going on this private island vacation trip. together. And I just hope that she does have a good time, because she is getting, kind of reamed in comments and social media for all the knife videos and just alarming other dancing videos that she's doing. So I really do hope these are true close friends that she's hanging out with, and not like new people, like hangers on. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Anyway, so tell me what you think about that. Okay. Let's get into Jeff Lewis Live today. He and Shani are in New York City. So he does admit now, or I think he had said this before, it is Bosworth, Kate Bosworth, the reason that he needed to fly to LA to have like a lunch or a dinner, this 1 hour thing with her for Hollywood House Flip, but they're making the most of it. He recorded the show today. Some of you chumpettes already saw him. Y'all went to the building, the SiriusXM building. Y'all been DMing me for days. And I'm so excited because I know at least two at least. I've got a lot of DMs I need to get through that did see him and Shane and Aaron walk out of the building into the foyer. So in LA, in New York. So shout out for that. I'm so excited for you. Okay. Do you love Erin Lichy as much as I love Erin Lichy? I don't think anyone loves her as much as I do. So y'all know that Jeff is infatuated with like Carrie Lewis being a late in life lesbian. I think that's his dream, right? So I've always joked for months that Brandi Glanville is my late in life lesbian obsession. Move over, Brandi Glanville. My new late in life lesbian obsession is none other than Erin Lichy. Oh my God, y'all. I can't be in love with this girl more. And I think Jeff Lewis might be in love with her even more. Did y'all hear the things he was saying? He was practically gushing over her. Like, if he could like move Stu to the side, wait, maybe we don't need to move Stu to the side. According to last week's Rhony episode, maybe her and Abe, her husband, would be interested in a Jeff and Stu and Abe situation. I don't know. She kind of seemed like she was into some little wild things, right? I was just dying. It was so good. She is so cute. Do not forget, y'all, this is her second time on Jeff Lewis. The first time she was on, I asked her to do a video and say, shout out chumpettes, y'all. And she did. Oh my God, she's so amazing. And then I think so that was a couple months ago, but about a week or two ago, I'm just minding my own business, looking at my Instagram notifications, and Erin Lichy started following you. I was like, oh my God, I am like dead. Like, I love her so much. I think she's pretty. I think she's real as a mom. I think she's real as a wife and as a friend. I think she's just spicy enough without being bitchy. You know what I mean? And there is a fine line, because even Jeff was trying to say that, like, towards the end of the show, he was like, Sai needs to like take it back a notch. Like, first of all, she's obsessed with food and she keeps talking about food a lot, and it's becoming like taking over her like theme. Like, instead of being like this influencer that she supposedly is, which I never heard of her, but it's becoming like she's just obsessed with food. You know what I mean? But he says it's starting, as a viewer, she's starting to come off as like a little bit bitchy. But he does not think that way about Erin. He loves Erin so much. He was practically like falling at her feet, like giving her so many compliments. And I'm so here for it. Also, don't forget, she was on Juicy Scoop the same week that he had her on Jeff Lewis Live. It's a really good episode. So go back and listen to that if you want. Actually, Heather and Erin Lichy have a lot in common. Like, more than this. They're both one of 5 kids. Heather's the youngest. Erin is the oldest, actually. Heather's parents were always married. Erin's parents were divorced. So there's, some differences. But they also both got their realtor license at age 19. They're both like really career-driven moms and wives that are just doing everything on their own instead of like relying on a man, right? So I love that. It's a really good podcast interview, though. So check that out. Okay, but Jeff is a Bravo Housewives fan. This is what I love about him. He really watches Real Housewives of New York. And he even says at the end of the show today, how he was hesitant, just like me. Oh my God, we have so much in common, Jeff. Just like me, he was hesitant to love the new reboot of Rhony. He loves the OGs. He's really good friends with all of them. Of course, we don't have that in common. But he was hesitant to love the Rhony, but he actually does. He feels like it's going to be a really good season. He thinks that all of them are really good. I think he likes some better than others. For sure, Sai. He definitely loves Erin. But he also catches on to stuff. He understands that Pavitt was acting really weird towards Jessel. So then he teases Erin because Erin says, actually, we're really good friends now. And the four of us go out. Abe, Jessel's husband, my husband, Abe, and Jessel's husband, Pavitt, really like each other a lot. And of course, Jeff had to take it there. Jeff was like, well, is he like looking him up and down? Is he like looking at his pants? Like, do you think Pavitt likes Abe more than he likes Jessel? And Erin was like, no, like, don't. Like, if anything, that was what was going on. If that's part of the season, part of her life. And now she says they're actually, according to Jessel, sexing up all the dang time. They just kind of had to light the fire, if you will. So I think a lot of us can understand and relate to that, you know, we have ebbs and flows of our marriage. And, you know, I hope we don't go that long without some sexual stuff going on. But I don't think it's as uncommon as, you know, because Jessel said that she's hearing from a lot of people that they go through that kind of thing. So who knows? Let me check out your comments. Oh my God, y'all are amazing. I love that, Krista. Erin is a fan fave. So a lot of people, and they talk about this today, that Jessel in the beginning, the first couple of episodes was coming off really bad, right? The bitching and moaning about the green lingerie that Jessa gave to her, Jenna, not Jessa, gave to her, came off really bad. But now the tides are turning. And even on Watch What Happens Live the other day, Bowen Yang said that Jessel, Princess Jessel Tank, is like the standout star. And he actually says Sai is going to be a one-season wonder. Like, she's out. I don't know. I think it's so weird that she's supposedly the one that came into this. Her and Jenna Lyons, who I'd never really heard of, but I'm not huge into I mean, look at me, y'all. I've got an Amazon sweatshirt on that says Dog Mama. I mean, I'm not into fashion, right? But Jenna Lyons is apparently huge. A lot of people knew of her before. Apparently, Uba has a really big Instagram, you know, social media following as a model. And then, of course, Sai is like a full-time influencer. Never heard of her. A lot of people followed her before, though, and clearly a lot of people follow her now. But Jeff is even talking about whenever Andy Cohen comes in later, which I love. Did y'all love that Andy Cohen like popped in? And then Jeff is saying like, I've been giving her a lot of tips. And Andy Cohen's like, wait a minute, maybe I was supposed to come in here because I don't know that I want Jeff Lewis ruining this and giving Erin tips on how to do Bravo, right? Because of course Jeff was teasing, oh, I'm going to make her into a Nene. I'm going to make her into a Bethany Frankel. And Andy Cohen was like, oh, good God. Like, I just can't even imagine. Oh, it says there's a question, but I don't know. Let's see. Oh, Tampy says, I used to love Heather, but she's just doing anything that will get her more likes. Oh, talking about Heather McDonald. Yeah, we're not going to get into that because I do not need to get blocked. I do not need the juicy scoopers coming at me. As y'all know, I've got a ticket. My friends and I are happily going to Heather McDonald's Juicy Scoop show at BravoCon. I went to it in 2022. So even though I don't listen to her, you know, podcast all the time, I do like her podcast. I do think she does good things. I just don't make as much time for it as, you know, obviously as I do Jeff Lewis, right? Okay, what else? What are my notes? Okay, I do love this. Can you imagine? So Jeff talks about them needing to record like B-roll. And Erin thinks that he's explaining that for her. And she's like, I know. And he goes, no. For the listeners, I'm explaining this. So I guess in LA, you know, like TV shows are filmed in movies all the time, but not so much in New York City. So Jeff actually says, this makes me nervous. Like, I don't like all this like attention that like they're recording us at like Toasties getting coffee and like walking down the streets of New York City. But he did say that several people recognized him and he loves that. So if you are one of the lucky New Yorkers that happened to be there, let me know. Tell me in comments if you saw Jeff and Shane. If you said shout out Shane, if you took a picture with them, they love it. I mean, Jeff even talked about not getting recognized on the trip to Dallas. And he was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Why is nobody coming up to me? Do I not look okay? Like, does people not recognize me? What have you? Thank you for the follows on TikTok. I appreciate it. TGIF. Oh, I love that, Andrea. I love Heather too. Yes, Heather has a lot of fans. It's just I'm going to cover when she talks about things of interest to me. And obviously, if she brings up Jeff Lewis and the Justin Martindale thing of it all, which we will talk about Justin, because he is going to be on next Wednesday's show with Ryan Bailey. Oh my God, that's amazing. Okay, so the B-roll thing, Jeff is talking about, that makes him uncomfortable to kind of, he's fine in LA recording. I think that's his comfort zone since he's grew up in OC, lives in LA, but in New York, he just felt like it's weird. Everybody's watching him. I would just die to see him out in the wild. Like everything I've ever seen Jeff or the Chumps at, nothing's been an accident. It's all been things that they've either said publicly they were going to be at, which means they want people there, right? CatCon, he practically begged people to come to CatCon, right? And then other things that he said he's going to be at, either I'd already bought a ticket for, like the Amy Phillips Cabaret in New York, and he was already going. So there's things that I've never caught him in the wild, and that would just be amazing to do. Sai is vapid. Oh, Crystal, look at you using these big words. What does vapid mean? I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. Back to Erin Lichy because I love her so much. I thought he was really good with her. Would I like to see her on maybe with one more housewife? I think that could have been good. I think she has a lot to say. Even on the after show, Pol and Patrik, Pol was really wondering why Erin does so much. Part of what she does, though, she's also an interior designer. Like she does that for people. Like I forget her name of her company. It's a really cute name. But anyways, he said, why did they never talk about that? Like Jeff is an interior designer. She's an interior designer. They never even brought it up. But I just think he's such a fan of Rhony. Like he was obsessed with talking about Brynn and her flirting, how she's coming off. He was obsessed with he didn't really talk about Uba at all. Not very inclusive of him, right? Like, was that intentional? Like literally, I'm like, did Jeff talk about Uba at all? He definitely talked about Sai. Definitely talked about Brynn. I just don't think he talked about Uba at all. I don't know. Anyways, Vina says, wait, in New York? Okay, in New York, no way. It's so not cool. Majority of my family live in New York. They say weird. Don't do it. Smile, walk by. No pics or video of the old antiquated autograph here in Cali, maybe. Yeah, I don't know what that means. What else? Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Oh my God. She can't catch a break. Oh my God. He was so like, first of all, she's 62, which is the same. No, is she older? I almost think Patty Stanger's even old. Maybe she's 62 also. But as we know, Patty Stanger really keeps up her appearances, looks amazing. He was really picking on Julia Louis-Dreyfus for not really being dressed up, having a mask on, not really having hair and makeup done on this Delta One plane that they were all on. I can't even relate to a Delta One plane. I mean, I think my husband bought a lottery ticket for Wednesday night. He's going to buy one for Saturday night. Is this the national thing? I think it's like going to be $1 billion, something crazy. Like, I don't even know what I would do with $1 billion. That's just ridiculous. But I still think, no. Okay, if I won $1 billion on the lottery, I actually wouldn't fly Southwest, but just because not because of the picking your seats. That doesn't really bother me. They talked about this a lot on the after show. If you've ever sat next to someone on an airplane that's like annoying or, any bad experience sitting on the airplane. I don't really have that. But I think I would pick an airline that offered these like big cozy pods that Jeff talks about on Delta One, because I think that does sound nice. Like, and I kind of love that Jeff was talking about that. That's what I would do. Tell me what you would do if you won $1 billion. Like, I can't even wrap my brain around that many zeros. That's just ridiculous. But of course, Jeff is talking about needing more space because, of course, he's always obsessed over his weight. Like, and the caller that called in and said, it's almost sweater weather. Oh my God, it was so cute. I love that. But the caller, I wasn't even going to talk about this. And then I think the caller got through on the after show. So Jeff is now, it was a guy, unless they changed their voice. This caller gets through. Clearly they lied. I think there must be caller ID because they've talked about this before. And I think even on the Chump Happy Hour, I think Megan said one time, or somebody did, the full name of someone. And they were like, you're only supposed to say the first name. And they always know the phone number. So I always wonder if I called in and said a different name than Sarah, if Sarah is what shows up on my caller ID, which I don't even know what shows up on my cell phone caller ID. I mean, it could be my husband's name, whatever's on the bill. I don't even know. But this caller calls in, and then instead, it was a fake call. He like scammed them to get through. And he was like, wah, 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 I'm Amanda McCants. And he was like, oh shit, this is like a fake caller, like, or a, not a scammer, whatever you want to call it. The people that do that on Howard Stern, like they call into other people and then they'll be like Baba Booey. You know what I mean? What else? I'm missing all of y'all's. Yes, it's okay to ask for autographs, but never if you're in an elevator with a famous person. They don't have the option of walking away and saying no. And isn't that funny how we're not even into autographs anymore? We just take a picture with someone or a video. Like, I don't want anyone's autograph on a sheet of paper. I want like a picture or video for sure, right? Oh my goodness. So then Jeff says like he's impressed that like he's getting big, like he's getting these fake callers in now. The same guy calls into the after show with Pol and Patrik and does the same thing, says something again about Amanda McCants. And then they realized who, that it was the same person and kind of hung up on them. I think Pol said something like, sorry to be such a sad person like you. Anyways, it's very interesting. Very interesting. Checking out your comments on TikTok. Oh, thank you for the roses and the gifts. Y'all are amazing. Thank you. What else? Pol and Patrik, speaking of phone calls, okay, they are doing these coffee readings, right? So somebody gave me their cup that they had an in-person coffee, our meeting coffee grinds reading. So I do keep that up here now. I'll turn it around so Pol will show. I'll give them equal opportunity to show, right? But I guess this is like the second or third week that Pol and Patrik have been on, and people call in and I think, oh, they're going to compliment them or talking about the Armenian coffee grinds reading. No, they're calling in because they're like, hey, I scheduled an appointment and nobody's mailed me anything. Nobody's called me. Nobody's emailed me. You're not responding to my DM. I'm like, they need to screen those calls a little better to where they're not getting those kind of calls on air. Like, I guess I would think that whoever's screening it, if it's Alyssa, they should be like, well, DM him or, email him. They will, because I don't think that sounds good for the whatever. So Patrik says they did run out of the supply and they're getting more made. So I don't know how it's working, but I am hearing from so many chumps that y'all have had your reading. It was amazing. They were so nice, whether it was in person or on the Zoom. They're giving pictures of the thing. It was very accurate what they're saying. And like everyone is telling me these details of how spot on it is. So it's kind of crazy. And then y'all keep asking when I'm going to have it. I don't know. I am not into that kind of thing. It kind of makes me nervous to hear something bad, or like if he told me something and then I was like waiting for it to happen. I don't know. I mean, we already know about the 3 volcanoes. We knew about the lawsuit thing that they said about Jeff Lewis. I mean, I don't know. It sounds way too accurate for me. Oh, yes, that was cute. Kimberly says about Pol and Patrik. So they were talking about people coming into their salon, Pola 2 in Beverly Hills, and people saying, yeah, I want something very simple, very casual. And Pol's like, look around. Like, that's not my style. But he was saying how the mothers of the bride and the grooms of the bride are like stepping it up a notch and really getting dressed up for their weddings now. He's making a lot of those dresses. So Kimberly says, I loved what they said about the mother, the groom, and bringing your best look. And shout out to my friend Kim, because she was just the mother of the groom, the mother of the groom on Tuesday. So congratulations to their addition of the new bride and their family. Wait, what? So if someone isn't going to tell the details. Oh, wait, what are y'all talking about? I'm missing all of this stuff. Oh, okay. So somebody said if someone's not going to tell the details, they really shouldn't mention it at all. Is it like baiting or advertising for their Patreon? So, with talking about the Heather McDonald or anybody's Patreon that I talk about, it's of interest to me. So I'm going to chat about it. But you have to understand, maybe I've gotten DMs from certain people that are very clear about telling me not to talk about their Patreon details. More than one celebrity. Okay. So let's just say, but also it is a fine line. The Patreon members get mad if that information comes out. Now, am I well aware that there's lots of fan accounts that tell every single detail? Yes. Do I assume they get the same DM from some celebrities? I don't know, but I know I take it seriously whenever I get one because I am respectful of that information, but also I want to give just enough information to tell you it's there. And then you go listen yourself. You know why? Because everyone's interpretation of information can be very, very different. Some people can think, oh, he was super hard on Jeff and Justin today. And some people could say, oh, she barely mentioned it. She's not that upset over it. So everyone has their own interpretation. And that's why I leave it up to you to actually listen to information. I'm just bringing it up and telling you about it. But also, I'm well aware that Reddit, there's, message boards on there or whatever that tell all the information also. So if you really want to get it for free, you can go over there. Anyways, I don't know what y'all are saying. I will never pay for a Patreon again. Fool me once. I don't know which one you're talking about, Krista. Which one did you pay for that you weren't loving? What else? They do talk about the coffee readings again. Pol2.com, POLATTEU.com to book it. There's like a menu where you can book your reading. I think it's about half the price as on a Zoom as the one in person is. But clearly, if you are able to go to Beverly Hills, the one in person, you get to meet them, you get to take pictures with them, you get to meet Snow White 90210. So that would be extra amazing. I know a lot of people are even driving an hour or two to make their appointments. So it must be worth it. So it looks super fun and you can do it at BravoCon. So I just don't know that I will. Makes me nervous. And I've heard the actual Armenian coffee is very strong and bitter. And if I can't add like tons of milk or tons of flavored creamer and a sweet and low to my coffee, I don't know that I'm going to be able to drink it. Like, I think I would like hold my nose and have to drink it. I'd probably mess it all up, right? Oh, Krista wants me to go in person to get her coffee reading. I was trying to make time for it when I was there last weekend. I just couldn't squeeze it in. They were doing them. They were working. And then when we saw them that night, they told me they were at the evening happy hour of the Amy Phillips and Chef Stu's Reality Bites event. Pol had done like 20 between virtual and in person that day, 20 Armenian coffee readings. I mean, they're making a shit ton of money on this, right? Sarah report exactly as I heard. Maybe we both misheard. Wait. What happened? I've thought of joining a couple of Patreons. I just can't, put the money out. Yeah. I understand. Oh my God. I heard the story of Pol finding a snake in their house underneath their dresser, curled up. And I thought, okay, we've had a snake in our front foyer about 3 years ago, maybe. I still freaked out, right? He said this snake was 6 foot. He said 12 foot. And then Patrik said it was 6 foot. I don't care, 12 or 6. At that point, it doesn't even matter. If you have that kind of snake in your house curled up underneath your dresser, oh my God, I think I would just die. Like, that's crazy. And then they called the fireman, the fire police office thing. Oh, good question. Somebody says, oh, we are going to leave time for questions. Who's on the Chump happy hour? And somebody else says, Jeff didn't mention anything about the happy hour. Somebody else, I'm behind on my DMs, but somebody else DM'd me and said they never mentioned the Chump happy hour. They did this last Friday. And then it came out, they made an announcement that it was a replay. It was going to be an archive show. So last weekend, remember, Jeff and Shane were in Dallas. Today they're in New York City. So I don't know if they just don't like to have the happy hours when they're out of town, but they're not on every single one of them. So I sort of hope it's not dying out and they don't cancel it. I think it's a fun show, but it has to make sense financially. Everything that Jeff does, it's going to boil down to finances. And if it doesn't make sense, especially if they are, think about it, they are paying Jameson, I'm assuming, to stay later. Alyssa is staying later. And then all the other chumps are having to drive back up there. And they usually have, I would say, 2 to 6 chumps on the chump happy hour. If he is paying them as much money, hasn't he said like $300 to $500 a person on the Jeff Lewis show? If he's paying that much for the chump happy hour, that's a lot of money. So it has to make sense. Like, I don't know. Do you listen to the chump happy hour? Or is it one of those things if there was another hour in the day, you would listen? Like, I am listening to the after show, but I have to admit, it's a lot more. It's 5 more hours in my day. The only good thing, well, I love it, but the good thing is that if I'm on a little bit of a delay, I can actually fast forward it every 15 or 30 seconds. So I can at least flip through the long commercial. And they're not even commercials. They're like, promos are not even commercials, right? Oh, Beth says Heather's show has been bad since Annie left. Do you know why she left Heather's show? I don't. I mean, they announced that it was for another job. A lot of you know now that she is the one. Annie is doing my reels for me, and she is guiding me on social media. So she left, I think, early June. Somebody, shout out, told me that Annie had started a podcast, and it was actually about social media and like understanding things about, different platforms and stuff. So I listened to her podcast, thought it was really good. And then I asked somebody for advice, and they said, because all this is new to me, y'all. I mean, I'm flying by the seat of my pants, learning as I go, right? Doing all of this stuff in the podcast. So somebody I reached out to and I asked for advice on like if they knew someone that could make these promo clips for me, these reels, they call them, from my show. And he said, you need someone like Annie. You need an Annie that Heather McDonald had. And I was like, well, I just listened to her podcast a month ago. Let me just DM her. So I DM'd her. She was between projects, and I actually became her first client. And I think I know she's now started her own business. So, and I know she's working for other people too, that I do know. So in the Jeff Lewis world, the Bravo world, Radio Andy world. So yeah, I love her. She's such a good fit. She understands the vibe of the reels that I want, and she's doing amazing things with them. So you will see the reel a couple of hours after each Reality Watercooler. Today's is going to be about Erin Lichy, of course. So we chat about that. We chat about social media, different things. She's teaching me technical things. So, but that is her expertise. So when she was producing for Heather, that's her career path. Like, she knows exactly what she's doing. So when she was between projects and said that she would help me, I was like, this is amazing. Like, you know exactly what I need, because I am, a fan account talking about like pop culture and stuff. So, and Bravo. And she's a huge Bravo fan, and she's a Texan. And obviously we relate to that so much. So anyways, she's amazing. She's amazing. Oh, I love that, Brenda. Good for Annie. We love her. Glad she's working with you. Yeah, she's really amazing. And if y'all saw Monday's show in my video, my pictures on Instagram, I got to finally meet her on Saturday at the brunch Reality Bites. She was amazing. Anyways, okay, what other questions do you have? I know some of you put up questions during the thing and then I can't see them all. So tell me now this thing had stopped on Instagram. Sorry about that. Oh my God. Okay, sorry. Oh my God. Okay, I'm scrolling all the way down. Put your questions there. The phone call you mentioned about a couple of months ago paid off. Yes. So sometimes I do tell y'all about like things are in the works. I was trying for a while to get my technology better. Now I hired 2 or 3 local. There are two guys and a girl that helped with me all the technical stuff. I bought a computer. I have better lighting, better camera, better audio. So they helped with all of that. And then Annie is helping with everything else. Oh, I love that light works. Annie is doing well for being so young. Good for her. She's setting herself up for a successful career. Yes. And let me know, do you love the reels? I hope you're watching them. Please share them. Please comment under them. Please like them. The show ends here around 2:45 Texas time. And she puts out the reel around 4:30 or 5 o'clock Texas time. So they go up on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and Facebook. So everywhere. And Threads. Oh my God, everywhere. Everything's under Jeff Lewis Obsessed. Oh, I love that. Y'all love the reels. Thank you so much. I love other people's reels. And clearly when Kian started doing Jeff Lewis's, about a year ago now, maybe a little over a year ago, I actually reached out to them. This is before I knew that he was like full-time, whatever. But I reached out to Jeff, Todd Lewis, because he's really the one that found Kian for him, and Shane to ask permission if Kian had time for another client to make my reels. And then I realized though, and I asked permission for everything from, I kind of run by a lot of big things by Jeff just to make sure I'm not like cramping on his brand and all that kind of stuff. But then I realized that the style of his videos were so different and it just all worked out right because Annie totally gets my style. She's using pink font and captions and I love it for sure. Right. Oh, a question. How's your son doing with the muscle car? Amazing. Today, y'all, is his driver's test. So y'all wish him luck. The other 3 older daughters all passed their test on the first time. I did not. Oh, thank you for the heart. Woo-woo, on TikTok. I did not pass my driver's test on the first time. I had a California stop. Yes, I rolled through a stop sign and I failed my 16th birthday driver's test on a Friday. Yeah. So I'm hoping my son passes today. It'll be amazing. He just turned 16 yesterday, actually. Yeah, he just had his permit. So we, with the older girls, we also bought their cars about a month or 2 before they turned 16. That way they could practice with their actual car before they took their driver's test and get used to it. So yeah. Anyways, but the bill of insurance, the car insurance on 6 cars, 6 people, and a 16-year-old boy. Oh, dear God. Christina says the parallel parking is what failed you. My husband, so we went to a family dinner last night, and on the way home, he was telling my son, now just take your time with the parallel parking. You can start over and do it over. Yeah, they were. Oh, yeah, Lady Grace, I need the $1 billion lottery. Oh, my God. You are not kidding. With 5 kids. Oh, my God. Oh, someone else failed their test, too. EFP failed on their 17th birthday. Oh. Well, y'all manifest that he passes, right? Oh my God. Thank you so much. I'm good. Are you? Good luck to your son. Tell him, listen to the instructor. Oh, that's a good one. He will be great. Yeah, that'll be good. So tell me if y'all have this in your neighborhood. I was chatting with somebody earlier. So my husband does parent taught for all of them because all of our kids are so busy with their activities, although my son's now quit baseball. He was doing select baseball his life. That we never had time to do like the driver's test through the school. So my husband has always done the parent taught. That way it's on their schedule. They can take their driving whenever they need to. But we pay a local driving school. I think it's like 40 or 45 bucks. They get to do the test there in the own neighborhood where he's used to driving. And then when they pass, they just give them an envelope that's sealed. And then on Monday, hopefully he passes today, we go to the DMV and get his actual driver's license. So tell me if y'all do that, if that's a thing. Maybe it's not everywhere, but it's so much easier and so less stressful than going to the DMV because it's just a nightmare, literally. What all comments am I missing? Oh, thank you, Melanie. You're thrilled that Annie is on Sarah's team now. She's actually doing so good and working for a lot of really big people. So I'm so excited for her. Michael says, I paid the driving school for my son. And that's what I did growing up. Like, I don't even think it was an option, this parent taught thing. So basically, it's part of an app called Aceable, and you pay for the app and they learn stuff on there. And then the like 30 hours or whatever it is, the log that they have to keep where my husband has to drive with them. So yeah. Anyways, if you joined late, the replay does go up immediately. So don't forget about that. The podcast goes up everywhere you get your podcast under Jeff Lewis Obsessed. Please, even if you don't listen to it as a podcast, please go find Jeff Lewis Obsessed on Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcast, and go give me a 5-star rating and a review. I would really appreciate it. That helps like the algorithm and helps it come up quicker for other people that are like searching Jeff Lewis. So it'd be really good. I'd appreciate it. Did your son take driver's ed? You could get a break on insurance. Well, I guess driver's ed would be the app that he took. I don't really know. I don't know. Oh my God. Yeah. Panic. Linda, 5 kids, college tuitions, and 4 are girls. So if we do the traditional thing, you know, the girl's family is supposed to pay for the weddings. Oh my God. 4 weddings, 5 colleges. Oh dear God. On one salary. Jeff didn't mention anything about the happy hour. When Jackie was on Jeff Lewis, Jeff mentioned that he got in trouble on Instagram. Yes. So some of his Instagram videos, his reels, he'll get what's called shadow ban, which basically means his account is still up, but Instagram will send you a message and tell you got in trouble for something. And it basically means you're kind of pushed down. In other words, you really have to go. Like normally if I type in Jeff, probably Jeff Lewis comes up instantly, right? Because I look at his account often. I take a picture of the coffee picture, all those kinds of things. I follow him. But if they're shadow banned, I might literally have to type in Jeff Lewis or JL Jeff Lewis, his exact name, to come up, right? So it's crazy. But Jackie, yeah, she posts some crazy. I mean, you can't post that you're going to drop kick your 2-month-old baby. Of course, she got a knock on her account that said it was like violence or bullying. So, you know, Instagram doesn't, you know, a lot of social media doesn't really have a sense of humor. So they don't understand that she's just joking, but you know, anyways. Oh my gosh, you're going to need to start a Patreon with all those future weddings. I love at this point keeping the content free. I was what they call monetized on YouTube for a couple of months, and they took away my monetization. So they did it to a lot of people. So on YouTube, think about YouTube. A lot of people post movies, TV shows, clips of things, right? Well, they call that reuse content. Basically, it's not your own original content. So I would post some shorts of Andy Cohen's Instagram stories. Well, you know, that was a big chunk of who would see my stuff because clearly a short has a lot of views because it's short attention and it's Andy freaking Cohen. But when you think about me going live 5 days a week for 45 minutes, making original videos, making other content, a lot of my content was original, but they didn't even give me a warning. So about a month ago, I got a notice that I'm demonetized on YouTube. So now for 3 months, I cannot even apply back to get into the program. And sadly, that's when my views were really getting bigger, where I would have actually made some money. So I do make a little bit of money on Instagram. I do make money on badges. And when y'all give me gifts on TikTok lives, and I think they sell ads on my Instagram reels and stuff, but it's very little. Trust me, it's not a lot. And TikTok, depending on the video, you can make good money on TikTok too. So anyways, so hopefully y'all wish me luck in December that I'm able to reapply for the YouTube thing and make money off of that. Because yeah, it's a lot of time and energy. I do love doing it, but it's a lot of time and energy. So it'd be nice to make a few pennies on it, right? Yes, the 2-cent checks, Lady Grace, that Doug gets. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay. I know YouTube is just a bitch sometimes, and they did it to other people. So they weren't just picking on me, but I wish they would have just given a warning and said, you know, we're not going to pay you on that. That's what TikTok does. So on TikTok, if I put up a fun video of Andy Cohen, they just don't pay me for that, which is fine. They only pay you for original content, right? So you just have to follow all the different rules of every platform, and every platform can be so different. So anyways, well, thank you so much for joining. If you just got on, we go live every weekday at 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, pretty much on every streaming service you can imagine. So pick your poison: Facebook group, Facebook page, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. It's up everywhere, and then it goes up as a replay. TikTok is the only one that doesn't put it up as a replay. So if you missed that live or the whole beginning, go find another place and you can watch it there. Or in about 10 minutes after the live ends each day, you can hear it as a podcast anywhere you get your podcasts. Have an amazing weekend. Bye, Chumpets. Now, bye, everybody. Have an amazing weekend.